Assalamu alaikum. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard his voice and said, Allah commanded me to listen to your recitation. He was a teacher, a scribe, and a voice of divine rhythm. This is the story of Ubayy ibn Ka'ab, the master of Quranic recitation. Welcome to another episode of this series, Custodians of the Quran. And inshallah, today's custodian is going to be Ubayy ibn Ka'ab, radiallahu ta'ala anhu wa arda. And here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Ubayy ibn Ka'ab, radiallahu anhu, the master of Quranic recitation. Number one, he was one of the Prophet's official scribes of revelation. Ubayy ibn Ka'ab, radiallahu anhu, was among the scribes of revelation, those known as Kuttabul Wahy. That's the scribes of the revelation. When verses were revealed, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will dictate to Ubayy directly, radiallahu ta'ala anhu wa ardah. So he was one of the Kuttab of the Wahy, which is the scribes of the revelation. Number two, he was named by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam among the four to learn the Quran from. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, خذوا القرآن من أربعة من عبد الله بن مسعود وسالم مولى أبي حذيفة ومعاذ بن جبل وأبي بن كعب. Take the Quran from four. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Salim the free slave of Abu Hudayfa, Mu'adh bin Jabal, and Ubayy bin Ka'ab. This placed him among the transmitters of the Quran. By the way, we have done episodes on Abdullah bin Mas'ud and Mu'adh bin Jabal. Number three, Ubayy bin Ka'ab, about Ubayy bin Ka'ab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah himself named him in heavens. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Ubayy, إن الله أمرني أن أقرأ عليك القرآن. قال الله, that is Ubayy bin Ka'ab said to the Prophet, الله سماك لي. الله أو عفوا الله سماني لك. قال نعم الله سماك لي. The meaning, indeed, Allah has commanded me to recite the Quran to you. Ubayy bin Ka'ab said, did Allah name me specifically? The Prophet said, yes, Allah named you specifically. This hadith can be found in Sahih Muslim. This honor shows Ubayy bin Ka'ab elevated spiritual rank. Number four, he led the people in Taraweeh under Umar's rule. Now, during the time of his rule, that is Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, he revived the Taraweeh in congregation and appointed Ubayy to lead the people in prayer. This also goes to show the rank in which he was placed, not only by the Prophet ﷺ, but also by the Khulafa of the Prophet and other sahabahs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with them all. Number five, he had his own Mus'haf copy before the Uthmani standard. Ubayy bin Ka'ab compiled the Quran as he received it from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His Mus'haf included du'as and reflections that clarified meanings for students and was widely used in early tafsir studies. By the way, this Mus'haf was also part of the Masahib that were referred to during the initial compilation of the Quran, during the era of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and later on also during the process of stabilizing the Quran in the era of Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu. And after the standardization, the single copy known as the Uthman Mus'haf was the one in use and not the copy in his hand anymore. Number six, he played a role in the compilation of the Quran after the Prophet's death. During Abu Bakr Siddiq era, that's during his caliphate, Ubayy was among those consulted to verify the Quranic text based on his memorization and written materials, like I said in the previous point. وكان أبي بن كعب رضي الله عنه من أحفظ الصحابة للقرآن وأوثقهم. He served as a living witness to its preservation, that is the preservation of the Quran. Number seven, he was an early authority in tafsir, which is Quranic interpretation. Ibn Abbas and others will refer to Ubayy in interpreting verses of the Quran. He once said, ما من آية في كتاب الله إلا وأنا أعلم أين نزلت وفيما نزلت. There is no verse in the book of Allah except that I know where it was revealed and why. If you remember, this particular point, is something common among all the previous custodians we've talked about. That is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Mu'adh bin Jabal, and Zayd bin Thabit. All of them have this peculiarity in them. That goes to show how close they were to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, during the time of the Prophet when the revelation was coming down on the Prophet ﷺ through the Jibreel alayhi salam. Number 8, he was a Quranic jurist and legal expert. Umar and other caliphs consulted Ubayy for fatwas derived from the Quranic rulings. Why? Remember we said in the previous point, he was considered one of the masters of Quranic interpretation, and therefore it is normal for him to be consulted for fatwas that are derived from Quranic rulings. His mastery of ahkam al-Qur'an, that is legal rulings in the Qur'an, made him a foundational jurist in Islamic law. Number 9, his qira'ah influenced later styles of recitation that are known today as al-qira'at al-ashr. Several variants of qira'at, that is different style of qira'at, trace their origin to some of the students of Ubayy ibn Ka'ab as well as his oral transmission. His emphasis on proper makharij, that is pronunciation, and tajweed became a model for future generations. Number 10, which is last but not the least, he died in the 22nd year after Hijrah, but his voice lives in every masjid today, which is a legacy. Ubayy ibn Ka'ab radiallahu anhu passed away during the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. That's around, like we said, around the 22nd year after Hijrah. But his name lives in every prayer, every taraweeh, and every circle of Quranic recitation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. Now, with that being said, Ubayy ibn Ka'ab, as a conclusion, might not have been a leader military-wise or administratively. Yet, he led the believers in prayer. In prayers, he wasn't given wealth, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the verses, the ability to recite the verses and understand the verses of the Quran. This ability helped to soften many hearts and save souls. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on Ubayy bin Ka'b and elevate his ranks. With that, we've come to the end of this episode. Don't forget to like this video. I believe I have benefited one or two things. So like the video, comment and share so that the benefit can go to many people. You do well also to subscribe to our channel. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, you can watch them somewhere here or here. I believe you'll benefit much inshallah ta'ala. And you can let me know in the comment section which custodian would you like me to talk about next. Till then, the next episode, stay blessed. كنتم سالمين.